Okay, so this video, there's more to the story, my experience with Colleen Ballinger. So this person is called Johnny, and we were in the fandom at the same time. And Johnny really like worked his way up. Um and me and Johnny were very similar in ways because we were always Colleen's favorites. Like, Colleen had her favorites, right? And Johnny was definitely the favorite in America, whereas I was the favorite internationally. So, whereas Colleen talked with, Johnny in person, she talked to me online. And basically, me and Johnny never really spoke. However, today we had a very lengthy phone call, and I will not say what we spoke about because we both entered that call today, first time we've ever spoke to each other, and we were like, this is off the record. I was like, Johnny, this is off the record, and Johnny went, this is off the record. And we spoke for like an hour, and just I will not say, but the overwhelming amount of information that we both have, and the overwhelming amount of information we both have that's very aligns with each other is crazy. It's almost overwhelming. I ended up having to call my mum for like 2 hours after it because I was like, I can't believe this. So, Johnny worked for Colleen on her Miranda Sings tour, and he was a fan that turned into one of her friends. And he's now speaking up about his experience, about how bad that time was, and how much he was used, and how we're gonna watch it, go through it, and talk about it. I don't want to speak for him. I'm gonna let him speak. I know I will link this down below. He has also uploaded more videos talking about this, and it's crazy. Like, this is someone else completely unrelated to me speaking up about a time where Colleen and specifically Kory were absolutely awful to someone who they worked from a fan up to an employee. Are we ready? This is gonna be a lot, okay? So I will link this down below. Please go send Johnny some love, because I know single-handedly that first time speaking out is so difficult.
I don't even know how to begin a video like this. Like, where do I even start? It was over a decade of my life that I had dedicated to people who took advantage of the situation, me being young, vulnerable, impressionable.
Before I get into this, I actually want to confirm something that is really interesting. So, in my video, I talked about the fact, and he's like posting screenshots and everything over on his Twitter. I would go over and follow him. Here is his Twitter, and it will be linked down below as well. One thing I want to talk about real quick, like, I'm literally just going to read this tweet out and get back to the video, is Johnny validated a story that I told. If you remember in my video, I show text messages that Colleen would obsessively talk about her ex-husband Joshua to me, right? And one of the recurring things was she always would like make fun of his singing career to me and talk about how he steals songs and he's unoriginal and all like this. And one of the main ones was she would always say, like, Josh steals from Jason Derulo. Read this tweet. I'll never forget her handing me her phone, saying, record this, and winking at me. Then running out on stage with Want You Want Me by Jason Derulo blaring into the audience because I told her that her ex plagiarized him the night before. Oops, did I say too much? Validating my story, and also going to show that what he goes on to say is her pregnancy tour, when she was having a baby with Eric, and they were engaged, she was centering her pregnancy tour around her ex-husband. Here is literally someone else speaking up against the same story I said. Cross-referencing, yeah. Remember, this was her pregnancy tour, revolving your opening bit with a reference to your ex that none of the fans knew. It was only like me and Johnny knew that she was doing this behind the scenes, right? When your new husband is watching you side stage and, unaware and not part of the jokes. So Eric was not a part of the jokes that all of us knew that Colleen was doing on tour while her then fiance, now husband, was in the wings rooting for her. That's not very nice, but spread happiness. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
I
Per
just
Eric.
don't want to sit back anymore and watch repeat offenders get away with doing this to people. I never really wanted to make this video, or
I've been there.
ever intended on making a video like this about this situation. But, you know, there's always a day for everything. I guess what really ignited a lot of my emotions and feelings right now is I just heard from a person, you know, fuck it. Like, why am I still protecting these people? Joshua David Evans just DM'd me.
Colleen's ex-husband.
I have not heard from that man for probably at least 8 years. And I just received an apology, somewhat, for the way I was treated back in the day. And that is a whole can of worms. Whole tangent. But the fact of the matter, and I think what upset me so much, is what Adam has come about, or what Adam has spoken about, in terms of what happened with his situation with Colleen. I think what hit me so hard is...
And can I also clarify that me and Johnny, like, never spoke? Me and Johnny have never had a relationship. Like, we've never had a relationship. So, him coming forward and speaking and referencing my story, me and Johnny have never spoken before. Maybe if we did in the fandom, it would be a tweet back and forth, but I really don't remember that. It would have been... Today was the first time that me and Johnny really have ever interacted, and it was that phone call that happened about 2 hours ago. And we're gonna have another one, hopefully, you know, tomorrow as well. Like, me and Johnny are, like, trauma bonded. And we've never spoken before.
Realizing how many similarities I've had with her, throughout our friendship, work experiences, my employment, like any situation with her, these similarities in the situations are jarring, a bit uncomfortable with how similar a lot of the conversations went down between the victims and her. It's really gross, and I think today, just getting that DM a little while ago from Josh, it struck a chord in me and made me realize that these people are still trying to have this hold over me, and the people who they do these things to, and it's wrong, it's disgusting. I was 15 years old when all of this started happening, and that has been acknowledged.
Dude. I'll see you, sure. Thank you, babe. Why is there so many similarities between, like, whenever all this starts? So this started with Johnny when he was 15. When did it start with me? 13, 14. Like, fucking hell. It's like a criteria that she wants before she, like, brings you on board, right?
And
fuck me.
I think the grossest part is how inadvertently the blame is still somewhat being shifted towards me, because
we are not gonna do that anymore. And we talked about this on the call. We are not going to do this anymore. We are not going to be, we did this or we did that or we're to blame for this. We're talking about ourselves at 13, 14, 15. No, I've done it for way too long, and this week has taught me something out of anything, is we are not doing that anymore. And I said that to him on the call. I was like, we're not doing this again. We are not doing this again. We're not doing this again. We're not spending more years being like, but we did that, or we did that. She was a 30-something-year-old woman. Or, for Johnny, like, late 20s. Like, 27 or 28 or something.
Impressionable.
And something to note is, when Colleen started doing this to Johnny, Colleen is currently... was older than the age that Johnny is right now. I think Johnny's 26, 27 right now. I think. And I think Colleen started doing this when she was like 27, 28. What's not clicking? What is not clicking?
Naive teen at the time, and I didn't know boundaries and everything. And yes, I was a child, I was a teenager. There were probably some moments that I'd look back on and I'd be like, ooh, yeah,
No,
but I was
because
just
you were a
excited
child.
over the fact that me being a kid who had no friends, who got bullied out of school, who was just looking for some form of connection with people, like, and the fact that I found that with people I idolized and like this community.
This just... Listen, I'm gonna try my best not to bring in any way this...
I bet it's always PPL 15 or close to 15 because Colleen probably thinks that's old enough that she can shift blame to them easier than someone who's 11/12.
I don't know. I'm gonna try my best to write this video not to be like, yes, and then, this is similar to what happened to me, because I want this video to literally be, talking about what Johnny's story is, but it's so hard to listen to this and be like, this is exactly how I feel. This is exactly what happened to me. This is exactly, what he just said there about, like, oh my god, I have no friends, and now my idol wants to be my friend. Cha-ching! Like, I'm so happy, I'm over the moon. It's like, I'm gonna try my best to write this not to be like, oh my god, that's exactly how I feel, because I want this to be going through Johnny's thing, and in no way is that taking away from his story, but all I'm saying is, oh my Christ, it's so validating to hear someone else at the same time period, the same age, whatever, went through something like this, because it makes me feel, and sorry, this will be the last time I, like, bring it back to me, this makes me feel that, like, oh, I always am like, oh, I'm so stupid for allowing this to happen to me, but then whenever I hear someone else happen to at the same age, I'm like, no, it's not our fault, it's the person's fault who did it. Why are you doing this to children? Weird.
It was addicting. I didn't want to lose that.
Yes.
Up until recently, have still been protecting these people because I wanted to believe that the connections I had with them, the friendships, the interactions, they were authentic and they were genuine, but they just never were. I worked for Colleen on the Miranda Sings bus tour 2018, and that was something that I thought was going to be life-changing for me, and it was in all the ways I didn't expect. I was bullied, tormented on a daily, eventually got my room access revoked. We had hotel rooms that
Sorry, can we just take a moment for the sentence we just heard? I was bullied, and then had my room access revoked? What? It makes me wonder if she knows what she's doing or it's just a bad habit. Doesn't matter. Stop.
Drive on the bus to a location overnight, and then we get there super late. And one night we had gotten to our location in New Jersey, and I had asked Kory if he wanted the room and if he didn't mind sharing, because we were kind of like room buddies. And he, in his Kory way, kind of mumbled and didn't say much, and I was like, okay, I'm tired, gonna go to bed. So I didn't realize I had grabbed both room keys, and so I texted him when I got up to the room, and I was like, oh, hey, dude, I have both keys. If you want to sleep up here, like, let me know.
Yeah, and I mean, all the adults in the world, and she's choosing to hang out with children. All the adults and all the professionals in the world, and she's choosing to hire minors, or young people at a minimum. What the... Now, before he gets into, like, Kory being really nasty to him, can I say what this is, by the way, because I've seen this happen? Kory DeSoto is one of the most insecure men you will ever see in your entire life. Furthermore, Kory DeSoto is one of the most insecure gay men you will ever meet in your entire life. And I can say that. And the reasons for it is he feels that he's unlovable. These are conversations he's had with me, by the way, so I can say this. He feels that he's unlovable because he's really not in relationships or anything like that, so he takes it out on gay men that are younger than him. That's what's happening here. You'll understand whenever Johnny starts really getting into it, but to give you some context, that's what's happening here. Kory is jealous of the fact that Johnny is so much younger. That's it. So much younger. He's like a bitter bitch. Bitter bitch.
And he was like, I'm just gonna sleep on the bus tonight.
Kory said this.
I want to wake up to go to the gym tomorrow, so just make sure you're up so I can get the key from you. And I was like, okay, great. I went to bed.
Remember that, because it's very important to the story. Kory said, okay, I'm going to go to the gym, make sure you're awake, and I'll get both room keys. So Kory's sleeping on the bus, and Johnny is sleeping in the room that was for both of them, okay? Kory wanted to sleep on the bus. Johnny has both room keys. Kory told him to wake up early so Kory can get the room keys, okay? Remember this. It's a big part of the story.
And
by the way, any wonder that Kory has no friends and he's in group chats being like, I have no friends?
Just wanted to drop in and say I used to watch your videos all the time and I'm really glad to see people finally believe in you.
I didn't know where that was going, but thank you so much.
Next morning, bright and early, he strung me along for about an hour, and then he finally texted me that he was coming up to the room to get the key, and I opened the door and greeted him, said good morning, asked him how he was. And mind you, it didn't surprise me that he slept on the bus. And I know that's gonna sound strange, like who would take a bus over a hotel room? But he just did stuff like that sometimes, so it wasn't particularly out of the ordinary for him to do that. I was just like, okay, like maybe he just wants privacy, wants his space. Because the bus was empty, usually. People would go to the rooms. Regardless. I sat back on the bed because I thought we were just gonna kiki and have like a little morning chat. No.
Which is just so upsetting, by the way. Like, it's so upsetting that, like, Johnny is anticipating that Kory's gonna come in and, like, talk about, like, his morning. Or talk about things that are happening to him. Or something like that. And Johnny literally is like, I thought we were gonna have, like, a little kiki, like, sit down in the bed and talk. And it didn't go that way, but it's like...
Nothing of the sort. I was screamed at immediately.
What?
Because I stole the room and I
What?
didn't ask for it.
What?
How dare I?
What?
He's worked for his title. He's licked the floor clean where Colleen has walked to get his title. Blah, 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 blah.
Hold on. Let's go back. Let's go back. What? He was screamed at, he says, and Kory is complaining about how he's had to lick the floor clean after Colleen walks on it to get where he is. You chose to sleep on the bus and now you're screaming at a child. Let's hear that pit again.
Because I stole the room and I didn't ask for it, and how dare I? He's worked for his title.
Wait.
He's licked the floor clean where Colleen has walked to get his title. Blah, 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 blah.
To a child.
I was horrified.
Jesus Christ.
To the point where I had a full-blown panic attack and sobbed and called my mom on the phone and told her that I was coming home. Ooh, this wind. Thankfully, I did not. And I say thankfully because, yes, the experience unfortunately just got worse, and there are so many stories that unfold, but that...
Wasn't he 22? I don't know if you're talking about Johnny. So Johnny said that all of this started when he was 15, so his relationship with Colleen. I don't know what age he was on tour. I would like to imagine that he was hopefully over 18. I would assume so, because I think there's... Well, I mean, there is probably a way, but I would hope that Colleen would bring him on tour when he was over the age of 18. I would assume that Johnny... Wait, let's work it out. I don't know why we're not just working it out. Johnny, I think, is 27 now. So what does that mean he was in 2018? Someone do the math for me. I'm not very clever. So he was 22. So he was 22 when the tour did. 21, 22.
That's when things started to get really bad, was that instance. It took away my room rights. I wasn't able
Wow,
to.
so from 15 to 22 they were talking? Whoa. Wait, sorry, they had a relationship long past that, I'm pretty sure as well, but like, whoa. That's fucked up.
Shower in
Thank God at least mine only lasted 13 to 17, Jesus.
rooms. I had to wait till we got to the venues.
Sorry!
Until, yes, the experience unfortunately just got worse, and there are so many stories that unfold, but that's when things started to get really bad, was that instance. It took away my room rights. I wasn't able.
What do you mean your room rights? Colleen tells him to come on tour with them, and Johnny gets his room rights taken away? What does that even mean? What did Johnny do in terms of work for her? Well, I was a fan during the time he went on tour, but it was the America tour he did. He did everything. I mean, he would perform on stage with them. I wonder if I could even pull that up. So it was her 2018 tour. He would perform on stage with them. He would, Miranda Sings Tour 2018, New Jersey, for sake. Or wait, I wonder... 2018 tour. I wonder if Johnny is in any of these. He would go on stage and he would like sort out the merchandise. He would clean up backstage. He would like edit. You know, he did everything. This is just a random 2018 show. Hold on. There he is. Look how young he is. Look at that. I just pull up a random 2018 show. And to know that this evil bitch was acting as horrid as what he was behind the scenes. This evil, like... And I can call it Kory evil, because I've had evil experiences myself, but like, this is so... He's so young there. To think about a kid, like, away from his family... And for, like, these two adults to be treating them the way they were. That is so... Of course, there's kids on stage. Why wouldn't there be? This makes me really sad. Is that the Jason Derulo song? Wait, is that the Jason Derulo song? I don't want to play it loud. You're the one I want to want me. I think it is. I think it is. Is that what he was talking about, or was it a different section? Wait. I feel like it might be. It's this or another section. So basically, on her pregnancy tour was whenever she was doing that bit to, like, piss off Josh.
Shower in hotel rooms. I had to wait till we got to the venues. Until...
Oh my god, he was showering in the venues. Was she pregnant here? It was her pregnancy tour that she did with Eric, and she was making fun of Josh most of it, and Eric didn't even know.
Just like Blaine's parents and Rachel came on tour, they were my safety net. They allowed me to use their showers, hang out in their rooms.
How crazy is that? So here he's saying that Colleen's family and Rachel treated him well by allowing him to use a shower.
Days off because I was completely blacklisted. Unless
it was the song? It was the song? So what we just watched, her intro, that was an inside joke between her, Johnny, and me. But I didn't know that Johnny knew as well, and Johnny didn't know that I knew. That was an opening joke that she did. She walks out to this song from Jason Derulo that she was texting both of us that Josh was copying, and it was an inside joke with us that she was openly making fun of him on tour, while Eric stood in the wings being like, oh, my to-be wife loves me so much. Meanwhile, she's obsessively talking about her ex-husband. I couldn't play much of it because I would get copyright, but like, Jesus.
I went into our sound guy and lighting and tour assistants hotel room, and it was 3 of them sharing one. Like, it just wasn't realistic. And
why is he having to like search for Shire?
Go into a shower after 3 men who have just worked for 15 hours and slept in that, wash it off of their bodies. It was that or athlete's foot in the venues. I wore flip-flops.
I'm just reading the chat on my phone rather than here.
Fine. But the whole premise of it, I was 22 years old. This was the first
he
time.
was 22 years old. He was 22 years old. And he's now having to search for bathrooms and showers.
I was living away from home. I was living on a bus. Like, overworked, underpaid. And I couldn't even have the decency of sleeping in a bed or showering in a
oh my god
unit for like an entire
no bed and no shower. What's my opinion of Eric? Eric was quiet when I met him. He was quiet. I mean, he was trying down that cig. Respect. He was quiet. He was nice. I had one conversation with him before Colleen went. I had one conversation with him, and it was about haters back off and them keeping their relationship secret. And he was nice. And I've never spoken to him privately, ever. However, he's an enabler because he's allowing her to record the children and exploit them online. By the way, can I say something? You know what's a crazy statement that I'm going to make? This week has been the first time since Colleen Ballinger's children have been born that they haven't been exploited with a camera in their face. We have given Colleen Ballinger's children 1 week off from that damn camera being shoved in their face. Since they were born. What a weird statement. My
that
God.
Takes its toll on you. I was just gaslit left and right. I would constantly be told that I was right and that I get counseled through these situations. I'm so proud of you for sticking up for yourself, you know.
Oh yeah, I said I wasn't gonna do this, but yeah, she used to do this a lot. She would get you involved in a situation, and then when you would be upset, she'd be like, no, you're right, and then she would go to the other person and be like, ugh, they're the worst.
All this fabricated nonsense. It was just love bombing, feeding my ego to make me believe that I was
love bombing, a perfect word for Colleen.
Valued and appreciated, respected. But those were all just words. The actions proved otherwise. I was
good point.
Constantly told, I'm proud of you. I actually, I know you're telling the truth, but I'm going to enable this person in my life to continue treating you this way. That is constantly what I was told.
I just don't even know why they brought, oh my god, this is the part of the video where there's a dog barking, so my dogs may start barking, and if you have dogs, they may start barking. It's just like, why would they even bring Johnny on? It's like Colleen and Kory got a thrill and get a thrill out of like making their fans feel like shit, right? It's like they get a thrill out of it. It makes them feel like they're getting a thrill. There's no other explanation for this.
And I'm just at a point where I'm not willing, hi doggies, I'm just not willing to enable that anymore. Like, who am I protecting? Well, where's the protection for me? Like, I have been protecting all of these people through all of these years at the expense of my emotions and my well-being, and like, I'm just not gonna do that anymore. And seeing people like Adam and Cody come out with their stories,
people like Adam, this was before Cody's villain arc again. And we also spoke about that, but
the same tactics and manipulation. It's repeated offenses. It's tactical. It's evil, manipulative.
I'm so proud of him for this video because whenever I started hearing behind the scenes that things were going wrong for Johnny, I never thought that he would speak up because, I mean, if you look at the example of me speaking up, it's not really the best foot to stand on. I mean, the public really don't side with anyone that stands up against Colleen.
I can't. I can't stay silent.
Y'all
anymore.
chill with
the
the chat about her kids in the comments, please. Thanks.
Um,
Focus on her, not her kids.
It's just gross. And the fact that people are coming to me now trying to do damage control after I have not heard from them for almost a decade is comical to me at this point. Because me back in the day, I would have been naive enough to believe, the apologies and believe that they were genuine. But
Do you hear Bonnie starting to bark? Girl, it's a video, don't worry. It's a video, don't worry, girl.
But, I've been fooled one too many times, and it's time I start standing up for myself. Dude's staring at me.
The dude, Kory.
But, yeah.
Bonnie, babe, it's okay, you don't need to bark.
I have a lot to say, and
Girl, you don't need to bark.
there's so much more into this. It goes so deep, and again, a huge reason why I wanted to make this video is I'll be completely real and transparent. I noticed that Adam, in his latest video that I watched, had made an apology to Josh. Totally respectable. They are two
We've talked about
individual
this as
people.
well.
Do what you will with that. Like, if they had a conversation that went well between the two of them, like, great. I'm happy for them. But I was personally affected by Josh's grooming, manipulation, and he can't go under the radar. No, it's not happening. He is just as guilty as the rest of them. Kory is one of the most evil people I've ever met in my life. Only allowed all of it to happen. The entire crew let it happen.
It's because it's almost like they love it happening, right? They're all shitty. Someone said, I thought Josh was a good guy. I was so upset to have confirmation that he's shit too. I don't think the conversation was ever that Josh was a good guy. I think the conversation, especially on my end, was I had wronged Josh so much and I had never had a personal connection with Josh, so I wanted to apologize for things that I had done to Josh. That didn't mean that I was like, Josh is an amazing person. Me and Josh have spoken behind the scenes. After my 2020 video, he reached out to me and we had a very brief conversation, and then we spoke this week, very brief as well. It has nothing to do with Bonnie snorting. It has nothing to do with the people being good or the people being amazing or this person's better than that person. For me specifically with Josh, and I spoke to this to Johnny, was I wanted to clear my conscience about how I treated Josh, and I never had a relationship with Josh, so it was very one-sided, me against Josh, whereas for Johnny, it's Josh to Johnny, if you know what I mean, right? So, in no way am I ever saying that anyone involved is better or worse than anyone involved. You know what I mean?
They watched me get
and we spoke about that
abused
today
for an entire summer, and it was always the same thing behind closed doors. Good job, Johnny. We're proud of you. Because I finally started sticking up for myself. I got backed into a corner one day by Mr. DeSoto himself and was told
the fuck is wrong with
something
him?
along the lines of, look how many followers you have versus me.
What?
I'm your superior.
Kory doesn't even have his social medias anymore because he had to delete them because he was so scared of getting backlash. Sorry, can we just...
Proud of you, because I finally started sticking up for myself.
Oh my
I got
god.
backed into a corner one day by Mr. DeSoto himself and was told something along the lines of,
Wrong with
look
him.
how many followers you have versus me.
Kory, and where are you getting those followers from? Kory, name a talent you have, quick. Silence. Silence. Sorry, I'm pulling up videos. And one thing I want to acknowledge real quick is on this 28 2018 tour. Jesus, how embarrassing is it that Kory does this? How embarrassing! A grown man. No wonder no man wants you. But anyway, one thing I want to acknowledge about the people saying that Eric is clean in the chat is Eric was a part of this 2018 tour, and Johnny has stated that everyone involved was involved in this. Eric was involved in this 2018 tour. I mean, it was her pregnant. Jesus Christ, who's paying shit? Like, can we just take a look at Sissy over here? I can say that. I'm a Sissy also. Hello, I'm a Sissy also. I can say it. If you're not, you can't say it. But look at this. Wait. Jesus. Even the grinder notifications aren't popping. Oof. I'm pulling up more videos of Johnny on tour in the site.
I'm your superior.
Is freeloading a talent? That's a good point.
I was 22 at the time, and this dude was 30 plus years old.
Oh my god.
Like,
This is awful.
this is the reality these people are living in. Like, it's gross. It's gross. And I think it's about time that people start telling their stories, and I don't want to make this super long because I don't know.
Sorry, I don't want to be clicking here and think that you think that I'm not looking, but I'm literally just like scrolling through like 2018. Look, there he is on another show. That was what I've been doing on the side. He's just so young, and to know that these people were bullying him. I remember watching this in the moment and being so jealous that Johnny was on tour, and to know now that they were just making his life miserable. I just don't know what was to gain. Like, what was to gain from, like, making this, like, kid's life... I know he's 22, but, like, someone you've known since they were 15 miserable. To know that he's, like, saying that he wasn't getting rooms, and he wasn't able to, like, shower, and he wasn't, like... And this was the tour right after I saw her in Dublin, too. I saw her in Dublin in June, and this was the September tour. What awful people. Why is Peter Mon? This is not Peter Mon's video. What awful people. This makes me so...
It's a lot to talk about.
I'm sorry, Johnny.
And it's also a lot to wrap your head around because, like I said, still up until recently, I had just gone to a Miranda show 2 months ago. I was still attempting to salvage any relationship that was left, and I was made to feel pretty humiliated. We'll leave it at that. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna post this, but hey, this is my story, or just a little tiny sliver of it, but we can't be
This
so
is such
outraged
weirdo behavior from adults to be seeking these relationships with children and then be treating them like that. Absolutely.
over these people, these influencers, celebrities getting away with this stuff if we're complacent and we allow it to happen. And just as hurt as I was by Colleen being complacent and watching her friend abuse me,
Oof.
I can't watch these other people who have suffered throughout the same situations I did and not say anything, because that shows complacency and that gets us nowhere.
Damn.
We have to stick together.
Damn. He didn't get paid, right? No, he got paid. He said he got underpaid, was his words.
It's really disgusting and sad that multiple people had to go through such similar traumatic experiences, but...
Isn't it crazy that people are publicly coming forward and trauma bonding publicly over this woman and nothing has happened yet?
That's why I think it's really important that people like Adam and Cody are sharing their experiences, because, you know, no change is going to be made unless people start taking accountability and, you know, things start getting out there.
I
But
feel so bad for him.
anyways, I don't even know how to end this video. Yeah, just if there's one piece of advice that I could give anybody who might potentially stumble upon this video, um, it is so easy to get wrapped up in the world of celebrities and influencers and um, people who hold so much value in our society, but just give that love to yourself. Give that love to your friends and your family. Show up for them like you do these people who have these huge followings, who don't know you, who don't care about you. Like, and not to say every celebrity is like that. There are good, genuine ones out there. And, you know, even the people I've mentioned in this video, do I think they're like awful people? Some of them.
You could tell he was gonna be like, no, they're not. But then he thought about it and he was like, are these people that I spoke about awful people? Yeah.
But, you know, not all. I believe, you know, we're all human. We all screw up.
We're all human, yeah, but some of us are evil humans.
All make mistakes and we can recover from them, but
You can't recover from them if you're refusing to acknowledge them.
you know, like I said, repeat offenses.
Bird is going
It's still
crazy in the
happening
back.
to this day.
Speaking of the bird, I love the setting of this video. This is high camp, like going out to like a park and stuff. Love it.
Case in point, this morning. Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, I'm gonna go. If y'all want to hear any more of this, let me know because I got stories, y'all. I got stories.
I want to hear them.
Yeah.
Well, I did on the phone call, but I want to hear them publicly.
I'm signing off. Thanks.
All right. Let's decompress. I know that he has a video about Josh. For people here in my chat, please go support this video, but also he does have a video about Josh. I'm not going to watch this here, and I told him that I'm not going to watch this today. On the phone call with Johnny, I told him that I'm going to watch the Tur one, not the Josh one, immediately. And I explained why, which was about the fact that I wanted to focus on this story first, and he agreed with me. The fact that they started this relationship with Johnny when he was 15, very similar to me, he was 13, 14, built that trust, made him feel so special until he was 22. That's a lot of investing in someone. And then hire him at 22 and just treat him like shit, like dog shit. But like, keep him. Because what? Like, because what? You kept him after treating him like shit for what? You wanted to have someone to bully on your pregnancy tour? You wanted someone that felt less than you? You wanted someone to... I don't get it. I do not get it. So think about this. 2018. She was treating Johnny like this to his face and treating me like it in 2018 over text. So this woman was dedicating her entire pregnancy with Flynn to making people, her fans, feel like shit. Feel like shit. Isn't that crazy? I mean, I said this privately and I'll say it publicly. I'm sending Johnny so much love. I know how hard this is, and I know, and I can promise you something. I can promise you something without saying too much. Johnny has not even scratched the fucking surface. Johnny has not scratched the surface. And if I were Colleen and Kory, I would be terrified for what Johnny can say. And I'll leave it there.